I'm just going to go right out and say this. Halo Nightfall is a colossal disappointment. It was borderline boring, which I think that considering how big Halo has become over the years, I think that to make a TV series about Halo boring, that is a crime in itself. It really is. Because, well, let's start from the beginning. The story of Halo Nightfall is that there's a broken shard of the original Halo ring that contains a type of mineral that the Covenant is using to kill humans. They're using it as like a biological weapon. And so Agent Locke and his ONI team, along with some humans from a colony world that's been affected, one of them, spoilers, happens to be an ex-Spartan super soldier. His name's Icon, I believe. They go over to this Halo ring and they bring with them a nuke to try and destroy these deposits of this mineral. But of course they encounter problems and they are confronted by this enemy on the Halo ring. But what is this enemy? Is it perhaps some ancient flood that's bent on assimilating these humans to convert them into mindless monsters? No. Is it perhaps some ancient forerunner killing machine that sees his humans as parasites on the sacred ring? Nope. What is this dangerous enemy? Hunter worms. Hunter worms. Don't get me wrong, these worms in a TV show are quite menacing, but they're hunter worms, for crying out loud. I mean, talk about a missed opportunity. And to be honest, that's the biggest problem with this series. The entire series is a missed opportunity. I mean, think about it. Your location is a broken shard of the original Halo ring. There is so much you could have done with this. And what do? You have your main aggressor as hunter worms? And it didn't help that the hunter worms looked horrendously fake. In fact, a lot of the special effects in this looked horrendously fake. Everything looked a bit cheap, quite frankly. I mean, apart from the shots of the Halo ring, I thought that looked pretty good. But the Pelican, the weapons, the hunter worms, they all looked so fake. All of it did. It just looked surprisingly cheap. I mean, come on. I mean, doesn't it? I heard that this series had a bigger budget than Forward Unto Dawn. Everything from Forward Unto Dawn looked about 1,000,000 times better than Nightfall. It was just incredible. But the character, again, well, spoiler, the character of Icon, the Spartan super soldier, at the end, he gets killed off. And that alone is a great shame, because his character was so interesting, they could have done so much more with him. It would have been good to see him in the next Halo game, perhaps, or have a series of novels based around his character, perhaps. But no, they just killed him off. I did think his death was done really well. It was done really, really well. And that's one of the few things I can say about this series that was somewhat good. The last episode of the series ended well. It was actually done pretty well, which, to be honest, is not really saying too much about the series overall. The fact that it took the last episode to make it somewhat memorable. And another problem with this TV show is that it was so predictable, incredibly predictable. You knew who was going to backstab the other person. You knew who was likely going to die. You knew who was going to survive. I mean, for one thing, this series is supposed to be about an origin story for Agent Locke, the new character who's going to be in the next Halo game. We know he's going to be fine. We know he's going to be fine. There's nothing going to happen to Agent Locke. But I think the fact that they killed off the Spartan super soldier Icon, that was such a big mistake. It really was. I just think he could have done so much more. And that's the thing, this entire TV show is such a missed opportunity. And the acting, I have to say, was a bit substandard. I don't know, especially some of the death scenes. Some of the death scenes seemed a bit... pantomime, you could say. Would I recommend Halo Nightfall? No. No, not really. Not really. If you're a Halo fan, you've probably already seen this, but I think, bear in mind, it wasn't too long ago that we had Halo 4 Unto Dawn. Watch Halo 4 Unto Dawn, in fact. I mean, Halo 4 Unto Dawn is a million times better than Nightfall. You had a good origin story for Lasky in 4 Unto Dawn. You had the Master Chief, granted, it wasn't the person who played the voice of Master Chief, but it was still somewhat decent. You have Master Chief in there, you had good special effects in 4 Unto Dawn. I mean, again, Nightfall is supposed to have a bigger budget than 4 Unto Dawn, and yet 4 Unto Dawn looked better. One more thing, yeah. They never explained what happened with the whole hunter worm thing. Well, what I mean is that they never explained why they were there. How were they there? Were they left over from the original Covenant force, from the original Halo game? Were they always on the Halo ring to start off with? I mean, it's just like, they never explained how the hunter worms just appeared. And that's the thing, it just left so many questions. I don't know. Let's just say, if you are so interested in Halo that you want to know every single detail about the story, give it a try. Give it a try. Just don't get your hopes up. But if you're a casual fan, give it a miss. Because I can honestly say you're not really missing much by avoiding Halo Nightfall. And as I said, the few good things about Halo Nightfall, Agent Locke is pretty good, and Icon was pretty good as well. Apart from that, there's not really much else. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.